unicorn in Captivity, the hunt of the unicorn, rather.
Okay, so what is it, tapestry?
It's like a kind of sewn blanket on the wall.
Oh.
Hey, what's up?
So, the whole thing is called The Hunt of a Unicorn, or the Unicorn Tapestries, or Le Chasse à la Licorne.
Alright, I think we're good.
7 tapestries.
The 7. Maybe that's a lost memory of the lost tapestries. The 2 lost tapestries.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think about some stuff first.
Alright.
I guess talking about the meaning of the tapestries is less interested than talking about how they relate to ESCAP and what ESCAP does.
That's what I'm going to do, is relate it to SCAP.
Yeah.
And just my experience with it.
You got a pin.
Oh yeah. Is that Rebane's?
Oh, it's a magnet.
Is that yours?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You can use it for video if you want.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm ready. Do you want to start on a question? Do you want me to wear my mask? Like, I just was thinking it might be hard to see.
Yeah, I guess we could do with that. Okay, I think we can start by introducing ourselves. I'm Daniel, Soda Sack, and pronouns are he, him, he, they. Can't decide.
I'm Alexx. I go by he, him.
Alright. And so you and a bunch of other people from the SCAP server went to the Met in New York and saw the Unicorn and Captivity tapestry. And so that's what we're going to talk about. Well, first I want to know, like, what brought you all there, like, to begin with?
Well, I think we wanted a little more time together. You know, I was with several people who didn't get to come to recent conventions, so we wanted to spend some time on the road, spend some time in maybe a more significant place in America to have sights to see. And New York features the tapestry that So Great and Powerful used in his newer work, so that was definitely the motivation for doing that.
Alright. Oh, could you say who else was there?
Rebane was there, Bagel was there, Toasterless was there, Jay was there, Tin was there, Colton was there. I might be missing one, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people that I've been talking to for a really long time, so, and that was the first time I got to meet up with them, so it was a really special thing.
Okay, so you all went to the Met, and you went probably straight to the tapestries?
Well, no, we didn't. We kind of wandered around. There were a lot of like religious artifacts or art there, you know, sculptures and other tapestries, and we sort of just were going to wander onto it, and we were in one room, and I saw it, like, across through the corner. You know, I saw that one first when I first laid my eyes on it.
Yeah.
But when we eventually decided to go in, I knew there were more than one, but I didn't know exactly how many, and I was amazed to see, you know, 7 tapestries, and including an incomplete one, you know, across this room. Like, it was bigger than this room, but it was kind of this shape, you know.
Yeah. So like a rectangular room where
Right.
the walls were covered in these 7 tapestries.
Yes.
One of them's unfinished. That's interesting.
Well, it was like cut. It was like the corner section, the top corner section.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does it relate to SCAP or Captive Unicorns?
Well, I mean, my initial impression of the art, I feel like it took me a little bit to sort of, I had to look at it for a while, because at first it was definitely very, like, cluttered, I feel like.
Mm.
Obviously, I think we looked at this one first.
Yeah.
You know, just because it was the one we're so used to seeing, and it's the one that was used. The imagery is used from. But we did eventually end up looking at the other tapestries, and it just blew my mind. Like first impressions, just seeing all these scenes full of action, of humanity hunting this unicorn, and then seeing the last frame. Or I mean, apparently the order isn't really known, but this frame that we have so much attention on, just seeing it so open and clear with no people, and is really like.
Yeah. So all the other tapestries were like really busy, full of like action
Right.
scenes, and then this one's just still and like
Yeah.
it's just got one like central subject, the
Right.
unicorn.
I think that is really what stood out to me the most, and just like emotionally, like when I would look at this, it would like affect me in a way,
Yeah, like physically.
Well,
Emotionally.
just emotionally, yeah.
Yeah. How long did you spend in the room with everyone?
I couldn't. I mean, time. I couldn't really tell how fast time was passing, but it was a long time. Probably more than an hour, closer to 2 hours.
2 hours. Yeah, we were talking earlier about this. Like, I don't know the last time I spent looking at a piece of art for 2 hours.
Right.
I mean, I personally spend a lot of time looking at art on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
and often it's just like less than a second. I just glance at it and then
Yeah.
scroll past. So
Yeah, I mean I can say with certainty that was the most profound experience I've had with fine art in my life. Because the whole surreality of being with the internet friends that I found so much connection with, and then experiencing this and discussing it for so long, it was definitely the greatest experience. I think when we were in the other room, like Toast Drills came up to me, he's like, "Did you tear up in there?" I was like, "Yeah," because we both did. Like, it was just. It's just incredible, the composition, just being there,
gosh, I wish I was there. That sounds amazing. What other people's experiences like? Do you remember like stuff other people said?
I mean, there's a lot of analyzing, like, I know Colton was really big on talking about how he believed it was representing, like, humanity, how humanity deals with the pureness of this, the symbolism of the unicorn. They're always trying to hunt it down, and I think he was trying to relate that to like modern day when people do that,
So the unicorn is a symbol of purity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's something like magical that's supernatural,
Mm-hmm.
and humans sort of like hunting it down. Yeah, I see where there's a lot to unpack there for sure.
Mm-hmm. And well, I guess the moment that really like changed everything was when Bagel was telling me about it, because he was reading the Wikipedia, and he told me that. I know. I think it started. I asked him, like, "Is that the inscription of the artist, like the symbols?" And he said, "Nobody knows the artist."
Oh.
Right.
So the
Yeah,
symbols.
these symbols. I asked
In the
if that
middle.
was the autograph,
Yeah.
and he said that nobody knows the artist, and I didn't know this. I had no idea that it was the piece was considered like a mystery, right?
Yeah.
That they just found this in a barn in France.
A
Like
barn.
every piece, and they didn't know the order it was supposed to be, and they had no idea what it was for. It's still in like constant debate today, or research, or
Yeah, and they don't know
theories.
how old it is.
I think so.
I think I remember reading on the Wikipedia article, like, they analyzed the species of plants in the
Mhm.
background, and couldn't pinpoint the location where
Wow.
it came from.
But that really took me off guard, seeing that this was mysterious, and it reminded me a lot of SGAP.
Yeah.
Like experiencing that after Bagel said that, it made the experience feel more like the first time I discovered SGAP, because when I discovered SGAP, it was on a re-upload, which is similar to this, how it's being hosted in a new place without any connection to the original artist or intention. So, I mean, the aesthetic was very similar.
Yeah, I mean, I also discovered SCAP kind of late, like after everything was taken down off the original sites, and so it is sort of like lost and found media.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, yeah, this is like really old lost and found media where none of the background or context is known.
I think that's what made it so emotional to me, because I have such a personal connection to the fandom experience and discovering like fandom music, and because that was really where I found a way to express myself with discovering art. So I saw parallels in that sense.
Yeah, there's a few parallels. The appreciation of artwork, the lost media aspect. There's the unicorns. I mean,
Right.
The fact that My Little Pony is about like unicorns and stuff. I think that, I don't know if that's part of the SCAP aesthetic. I mean, it's gotta be. I mean, I'm thinking about like symbolism with the unicorn as a symbol of purity or the supernatural. I mean, yeah, I can see why you spent 2 hours there.
Yeah.
There's a lot to ponder.
Yeah, I mean, I think, G4, to me, I consider it very important art in my life.
Yeah.
Just I think the characters are portrayed in a similar way that is this sort of purity, and it's almost, utopia. And then you have, like, society on the outside sort of attacking it, or being the contrarian to it.
Yeah, I think over this weekend we've been at TrotCon, and one thing I've noticed is a lot of people talking about how their experience with the show is the first time they've experienced or seen what it could look like in a world where everyone was like kind to each other.
Right.
And like you said, a utopia. I think that's part of what makes it so special to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely feel that being at concerts and just being, having this unifying connection, and so many people that appreciate art or want to make art or music, I mean, it's so hard to find that anywhere else, so.
Yeah.
And one other thing is I think there were several pieces of Scrimshaw in the museum.
Yeah.
Which made us thinking, like,
No way.
did
That's
SCAP
brilliant.
come here, before coming up with ideas?
Yeah, because there's Scrimshaw like in the same room as all the tapestries, and the connection between the Captive Unicorns alias and then the song Scrimshaw.
Yeah. It almost felt like it was, some kind of like pilgrimage, or like we found, like an ARG that we like were meant to come to this place to have this experience,
Yeah. I mean, from that, it's like almost very, very likely that SCAP probably was in that room.
Yeah.
And that you all like followed them there, like unintentionally, just complete like coincidence or out of sheer like a loyalty or curiosity.
Because I believe that if he would use imagery from this, then he would be very interested in it and want to actually go there. So I think that's a good possibility.
Yeah, I mean, it had such an impact on all of you. Probably had an impact on, SCAP as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember when we left, when we were walking out, it was a very surreal experience. The sun was setting.
Oh, yeah.
We were walking down like a cobblestone pathway, just, so like excited, saying like we did it. I mean, it was, even if it's not, as significant as it felt, like in that moment it was, and that's all that mattered. We were happy that it happened. And then we had the road trip to TrotCon, which was a lot of fun.
And all of this was still ahead of you, and
Mhm.
now we're at the end of it.
Yeah, we are. It's gonna be hard to return to normal life, you know. But I feel like I'll go back with a lot of insight. So, I'm happy.
Me too. Yeah, I've never been happier this past weekend. It's
Yeah.
just really amazing seeing you and everyone. It's so tiring as well. I mean, this is great, but I wouldn't want to do it every day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah. You got to give it your all, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's all I have.
Yeah, I think that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, that was fun.
Cool. I'm gonna stop this.